All right, let's skip the weird hook thing that I do in my other videos. My name is Young Noodle, and today we're going to be talking about Off the Grid.
But we finally completed it. And we are ready for our first globally broadcast Battle Royale!
Dude, this shit is... What the fuck is happening?
Bro. Yeah, it's just early access. Everything will be fine. Let's get into the video. On my stream, a lot of people have been suggesting that I try this game out, so I was like, okay, another battle royale. You know what? Might as well give it a go. We have a lot of battle royale games. The craze is kind of dying down. We have the big giants like Fortnite, Warzone, and PUBG that basically reign supreme on a lot of the battle royale stuff. So another game taking a jab at it and seeing if they can do it better. It's very rare that they last long. But I was, intrigued. For a couple of reasons, and I tried it out with a couple friends, and I'll have the gameplay up on this video so you guys can see what the game actually looks like along with my opinion. And yeah, let's just get to it. At first, I was kind of skeptical. The game involves blockchain and Web3, and it uses cryptocurrency basically in its own game, and has in-game economy. And I'm not for Web3 and blockchain stuff, nor am I against it. I think a lot of the people who support it or are into it are a lot of scammers and people who are looking for quick cash grabs. So it does kind of ruin the idea of it, but the kind of want an idea in a game to have an economy that you can take out of the game and make real world money in is something that I don't think anybody would be opposed to. I think being able to buy skins and stuff like that, and being able to either get lucky or play your part in the economy and make money off of that stuff, I think that's great. But unfortunately, that doesn't always come with the love of the game for some people. So some people do get into this stuff for a business, and they don't care about the game itself. It's usually just a quick cash grab or a scam. And that's the problem with a lot of this stuff, is it's usually the wrong people that are into it, which means that the players themselves don't really get to benefit. It's only the developers or whoever's behind it and profiting from it. But with all that aside, I just wanted to read something that was on the actual page for the game. So it's an early access game, which, I think they're doing it right. The game is starting off and, wanting funding, and they want to see and shape the game based on player feedback, and I think that's always cool. But the one thing I found interesting is, if you go, this game is only on Epic Games and it's free to play, is there is a notice that says, this is a blockchain NFT game. This game supports or includes the use of blockchain, NFT technology, or cryptocurrency. All transactions and related activity, payments for in-game purchases, refunds, and customer support are handled by the publisher of the product. So that's pretty normal, but then it gets a little bit weirder here, and I'll tell you why in a second. But it says, please be advised, before purchasing any cryptocurrency or digital assets, that players should do their own research. Player purchases through third-party marketplaces are made at their own risk, and Epic Games does not encourage the purchase or sale of any cryptocurrency or digital asset. And the reason why I want to say that's weird is Epic Games has this game exclusively on their store, and they're basically saying that they don't condone nor want to promote the purchase of cryptocurrencies, but here it is. That just comes off weird to me. Why do you have it on your store to begin with if you don't support it? And it's making it sound really terrible. And like I said, I'm not for blockchain or NFTs and stuff like that a lot of the time. I think it's done very poorly lately, especially NFTs. But to put it on your store and to say that you don't encourage it or anything, that's like putting a gambling game on like your forefront and saying that you don't condone it or anything, but you're still profiting from it, which is weird. In this case, they don't profit from it. The money, I guess, does go towards the people running this program, but it's just weird to kind of advertise something like that on your front page, have all this stuff, and then say in the fine print that you don't condone it, because of legal purposes. I guess they don't want to have people go after them for putting their entire house, kids, and car on this thing. Because that tends to be the thing that a lot of people do with blockchain stuff and NFTs is they think it's the next big thing and it's going to be the next Bitcoin, so they go all in. But anyway, enough of that. That's just the main thing that a lot of people get from the game. What I want to talk about is the actual gameplay in the game itself. So when you boot up the game, the first thing you see is a streamer skin, you see a battle pass, and you get crates to unbox, and there is a monthly subscription that you can purchase for $11.99 Canadian, so I think it's $9.99 US for conversion purposes. And it's a monthly subscription that gets you the battle pass, that monthly skin, I guess, and increased currency rewards to basically grind towards getting other skins and items and the cryptocurrency in the game. So I'm going to say the one good thing that I do like about that, in the print for the monthly subscription, you can actually pay for the monthly subscription with the currency in the game, so you don't have to pay real money afterwards. So that's a pretty cool thing. I think that you should be able to use in-game stuff all the time. I think that's great. I think it's really cool. It's very similar to what Steam does with, like, let's say Counter-Strike skins, where you can sell a Counter-Strike skin for money and buy a game, which actually I end up doing for a lot of games that I get on stream. It's just a way of, you can play the market. So that's why I said I'm not opposed to a game having a market. I think a real-world market in a game where people want to spend money is great, because then if you buy something and later regret it, like let's say how many of you have played Overwatch and bought a bunch of cases and now you don't like or play the game anymore, or you don't care for the skins. It'd be nice if you could actually get rid of them, but you can't. In games like this, a popular term used in Counter-Strike and TF2 trading and a lot of other trading is cashing out. You don't play the game anymore, you cash out your inventory, you take your money that you made along the way, and that's a nice thing. I've even paid bills with Counter-Strike skins. So, I mean, again, I'm not opposed to this stuff, but I think it's done completely wrong for this game. You have every single type of microtransaction available on the storefront page as soon as you boot up the game. You have a streamer skin, a battle pass, a monthly subscription, and loot crates for cosmetics and weapons in the game. And that also includes the fact that the crates do include weapons. Now, everybody can use any weapon in the game, but the unboxable ones include extra attachments, which obviously have a small advantage in fights and stuff like that. You don't spawn with your loadouts in this game. You actually have to earn them, similar to, like, I believe Resurgence in Call of Duty Warzone, where you get money and you can respawn your teammates or get a loadout instead. But it does come with some type of advantage, which means that people who do pay money for the game will get that advantage of having more attachments on their guns, like maybe a laser sight for increased hipfire accuracy, and they can put an extended mag and all this type of stuff. Anyway, it's not a big advantage. It's not really something to complain about, but it is there, and it's there on the release of the game without it being fully released. It has all these monetizations and everything, and we don't even know if this game is going to come out of early access. And as we know, a lot of games, I'd say a good 70 to 80% of games that go into early access never come out of it. And the main point that I wanted to make with all this, and why I brought these points up first, is because I wanted to say, gameplay wise, that this game did have potential. And I think it still does. We'll see where the game goes, or hopefully it retains a player base. But the problem that a lot of these games do, and a lot of these devs do, is they have this marketing strategy, right? And again, I'm not a developer, so this is my straight opinion, but this is what turns me off most of an early access game. When I see that I can buy all these things, I can put money into all these things. Sure, the skins are cool, whatever. I'm not opposed to putting money into that. That's great. You have a monthly subscription, you have the battle pass, you got content going for you. But you put all this money into that, streamer skins, the art team, the marketing team, for all that stuff, when that could be diverted to at least put a little bit of fucking money into the performance of your game. This game runs terribly. and they decided that instead of optimizing it, they would throw FSA, DLAA, and DLSS into the game and hope that it works. And if you're not familiar with those technologies, they're rendering settings that you could turn on to your game, which basically downscale and upscale the game based on your frame rate. So think of it as an AI that live tunes your graphics while you play. Now, DLSS is probably the most I guess optimized version of this is by Nvidia, and again, I'm not a huge tech person when it comes to this stuff, so I could be wrong with things. But it's pretty simple to grasp. These gaming companies, instead of optimizing their regular in-game settings, they throw those in there for rendering purposes and hope that the game runs well. And sometimes they do it well, and sometimes you could get by it, but not with this game. This is a game that if you do not have a computer that was built within the last at least year or so and is not beefy as hell, you are not running this game stable. And it is a very quick, fast-paced shooter, and it has elements from Apex Legends, from PUBG, from Warzone, you know, the top three, and it does everything like pretty similar, but it just feels like to me like they just threw the game out there. It doesn't really have an identity. It's just a mix of all the popular battle royales with blockchain and cryptocurrency involved, with all these monetization things. Bam, let's slap a popular streamer on there, and then the game runs like shit. I really wish that these early access games, and some of them have so much potential, and this one could do well because it does have really cool features like the cybernetics and stuff like that, where you can actually in-game pick up arms and legs that give you abilities, and they're based on rarity and stuff like that in the game, and you can shoot them off of characters. It's really cool. But so it does have a little bit of an identity crisis in my opinion, because it's a mix of everything, but it does have some small stuff that's really cool in the game that differentiates it. But they don't focus on the optimization. And a game like this will lose its player base if it's not optimized. If you can't have people, and the number one thing with a free-to-play game especially, is that anybody can play. But when it's free-to-play, has all this monetization, and then on top of that, you can't even run the game, why am I going to play? And free-to-play games are based on their player base. They need that player base to sustain themselves. And I just, personally, I will probably, if this game is still around within the next 1 to 2 years, I will come back to it and see if anything has changed optimization wise. But you cannot release a game and have it run only on high-end rigs and then like just have more work in the monetization than anything else. I pulled up on stream the amount of unboxable items in the game, and keep in mind, like, some of them are variants, so there technically is less because some of them are just changed in rarity or color. But for the most part, they look like they've put so much money into this type of stuff where there's just a million different things to unbox, and it makes it look like the game has so much content. You're in early access. Like, have the content, but please focus on the game running well. That's my main thing that I wanted to get across with this. This game was such a horrendous experience to try and play, and it doesn't matter what settings you change. The only thing that will change performance is if you switch between DLSS and FSA, or TAA or DLAA, whatever rendering things that they have in the game. And like, maybe sometimes they'll help with settings, but if you're familiar with these settings, they downscale your game when performance is bad. And 99% of the time, the performance gets bad when you're in gunfights because of all the abilities and stuff. Otherwise, the game runs like okay. But when your performance is getting bad in these gunfights, your game starts downscaling. And because it downscales so heavily, everything gets blurry and it just looks like a terrible mess. And the recording that you're going to see from my stream on this video is going to actually look surprisingly better than what I'm visually seeing and what you will visually see if you have to use these settings. Because of the compression on Twitch, it does make jagged edges and stuff like that look smoother when you're viewing it. So at the end of the day, yeah, this game might run fine for like some people. It might, my cat's in the background. Hi, kitty. It might run fine for some people, and it might be okay for some people, but I think this game has a huge identity crisis. It has terrible performance, and it needs a lot of work, and it doesn't have what I think should be a replacement for any other BR or any other reason to try it, in my opinion. It's not only the fact that it's early access and it needs work. I think the direction of where they're going with things already, unless something drastically changes, just shows that they want as many eyes as they can, streamer wise, on this game, and they want to monetize it as quickly as possible. So unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be the game that does blockchain and NFT and Web3 stuff well. I think the market's going to be worth nothing because they have an oversaturated amount of items already instead of just slowly adding items. So the chances even to make money or have any worth of anything is probably going to be little to zero. There's probably going to be like 1 or 2 items that are actually worth something, and everything else is going to be trash. And yeah, I just think it needs a lot of work. So unfortunately, I would not recommend this game. I'll try it out in the future maybe, if things change. But as of right now, yeah, off the grid, more like off my hard drive. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this doesn't deter you from trying the game out yourself. Never listen to someone's opinion 100%. If the game seems interesting to you, try it out, and let me know what you think in the comments, or let me know what you think I should try next. So I'll catch you in the next one.
Armor plates require resupply.
Bitch. Oh, that's my favorite. So he survived 2 headshots, but I died.
Bro, did he just say TikTok?
I don't know. This,
My character just said TikTok.
the characters, like
the app.
the game's like thing constantly decides that it's funny to shit talk the people playing, and that's like their humor they're going for, I guess. Like, you guys are all dumb for entering this challenge.
This fucking sucks!